How's it going, people? Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to the Fourever Arsenal podcast. The big one, we've just got it out of the way. It ended 0-0, people. We've got a point from the Etihad that makes it 4 points out of 6 this season, and the ball continues to roll into the last 9 games of the season. But we're here to discuss the Man City one, and I'm back with the regulars. As you can see, big up James, big up Lee, big up Jordan. Lee, interesting settings you have there.
Yeah, I'm in the bathroom, guys. Look, there you go.
I think we can see it. You don't have to move.
I've been banished to the bathroom, so there you go.
Let's hope Julian doesn't need a shower or anything, because he won't care. You're recording.
Or a shit.
Yeah. Don't know which one's worse.
I had a curry last night as well, so hopefully no one come in
Ali, let's start with you, because you're over there. You was over there last night. Talk to us, man. How was it? Because I for one gutted that I missed the game. I mean, tickets were scarce, and the tickets that I did see available were £300-400 up. And as much as I was confident, I thought, that much money, I need to know we're gonna pull it out the bag here. But it was a 0-0. Atmosphere seemed litly. Was it as lit as it seemed?
Yeah, the atmosphere was unbelievable in there. It was really, really good. The fans were fantastic. I have to say, going into the game, Man City fans coming up to us before the game weren't confident. They were saying, I think you're better than us. We're going to beat. And that was quite an unbelievable experience when you think you're going up there expecting to be beaten 3 or 4 at times. And it was. I thought it was a good game tactically. I felt that it was an interesting game. I'm going to be really honest, I was really, really nervous before the game, but so excited about it. I was so excited about it because this is where we want to be, boys. We want to be in these games. And the most exciting thing for me, and forget about the result and forget about everything, I actually went into that ground thinking that we could win the game. I actually come out of the ground slightly disappointed that we didn't win the game. And, that's what we've been dreaming for and moaning about and groaning about for 10 years. We're sort of playing those games. And some of the performances yesterday, very, very proud of. I am going to be really honest. It's all settled down a little bit now. I felt that they were there for the taking. I really did. I did. 3 of their back 4 weren't there. And I felt that we was tactically very, very good, very, very cautious. But I felt that we could have gone for it a little bit more. In saying that, they're still a very, very good side. They had all their attacking options there. There weren't no one from their attacking side that wasn't available. They were all there. And so you have to still give them the respect that they deserve. They're still a very, very good team. But I felt slightly disappointed that we didn't really go for it at the end. We had the better chances. But the one thing I will say, and I think that it has got to be brought up, last year, the year before and all that, they've peppered our goal. Raya hardly had anything to do yesterday in what I say by saves and things like that. Now, if you go to the Emirates, I said this on my fan cam yesterday, when the goalkeeper's man of the match, he's been absolutely outstanding. He's made 6, 7, 8 saves against us. Or even when you watch Man City and all that, it wasn't that sort of game yesterday where our goalkeeper was man of the match. I thought he was the quietest player on the park. And I think that's a credit to our defending and the way that we set up tactically. But I felt that we could have gone for it a little bit more. But the atmosphere in there yesterday from the Arsenal fans was electric. They were, and you've been Man City before. It's in 3 sections. So to get that atmosphere over onto the TV and all that, big credit to the fans.
I fear that viewers of the show will deem that opening part negative, but I just want to clarify that I think that's one of the most positive opening parts we've ever had on the show. Reason being, because like Lee said, we've been waiting to feel disappointed at not taking 3 points at the Etihad, to feel like it's a missed opportunity. I think that's a very positive place to be in, because I'm with Lee. I do feel like there was a missed opportunity. On the big scheme of things, a City fan might sit opposite me and say, well, we had our own chances to take that game, and they'd be right, So I think a draw in the end is a fair result. But I just look at the openings we had, the openings we had both in the first half of our pressing and the second half of our pressing, and that Trossard one where he really should have cut it across, and we'll get into it. I do feel like we could have taken all 3, but I'm gonna look at the overall picture and say 4 out of 6 from both City and Liverpool.
Yeah.
And like James said, we're the only one of the three to beat each other. City, Liverpool, drawn twice, drawn with us both at home, and we've beaten them at the Emirates. So I think it's positive to be feeling like this, even though there's a bit of we could have just got it done in me. But James, well, actually, James, we watched it together. So Jordan, I know you was in the WhatsApp group as we was watching the game. I saw that. I saw a few comments from you, but overall thoughts first and foremost.
I'm glad that you and Lee have gone first because I didn't want to be the one coming in with the negativity. Although I totally agree with you, I don't think it is negativity. I think it's a good place to be. I'm not happy. I'm not happy. I'm not happy. I'm conflicted, and I'll get to that in a second. I'm not happy because I genuinely feel it was an opportunity missed, as you've said, as Lee has flagged. No Stones, no Walker, no Edison. We capitalized on the fact they had no De Bruyne, no Rodri, and no Grealish at the Emirates, and we beat them at the Emirates with 3 key players out. I don't think we did that yesterday. I just feel like there's not many opportunities you're going to get to go to the Etihad on the form we're in. Let's be clear, bar Timber, everybody's fit. They've got some key players out. I don't know if we're going to get a better opportunity to go to the Etihad and win. And that for me is disappointing, and it's a good place to be because I think a draw was a fair result, but I think the tactics were wrong. And where I say they were wrong is I understand what Arteta was trying to do. He was clearly thinking, if we can get out there with a point, we're one closer to the title, one game close to the title. We've got 4 points from City. And we'll kick the can down the road and try and hope that those guys drop points and we can continue our good form. I understand the logic behind that completely. There's also respect needed. You have to respect a man. European champions, treble winners, reigning Premier League champions. You have to respect your opponent. You go there and rock up like we're going to just treat you like your Wolves. You get slapped 4-0. So I understand why the tactic was, let's keep it tight and try and get out there with at least a point. But for me, the form we're on, the team we have, the experience from last season, and then missing some key players, I just feel like if we'd have played our game, we might have lost, but we might have won. And I think we would have won. I think we would have won. I think we would have beaten them if we'd have played our game. Now, look, we've come out of a draw. A draw is not a bad result, but I can't help but feeling that teams that win titles, most of the time, they go to their rivals and they normally win. They do normally win. Leicester won at City. We won at Old Trafford back in the day. Chelsea won at Anfield. You've got to beat your closest rivals. And look, it's still a 3-horse race, but I am disappointed. But it's bravery versus being sensible. And Arteta was sensible. And look, I get it. But I just feel like it was an opportunity missed because I think we're good. We're really, really good. We're good away from home as well. And I think City, had we stuck it on them, I think I've got individual points to make about individual players. We'll get to, I'm sure, in a minute. But my overall thoughts are, I'm a bit pissed because I think we could have won that game.
I think it's Lee. I'm gonna mute you in and out when you're talking because the echo in the bathroom a little bit. So bear with me with that. I think you're being a bit unfair, Jordan. I think when we look at the Emirates game, as much as yes, they had De Bruyne out, we had, I think Saka didn't start that game. I don't think Martinelli started that game. I don't think Havertz or Jesus. I think it was Nketiah, Trossard, and I can't remember the third one that started in the front three. But it wasn't it was Jesus Trossard, and Eddie. I think that was the front three against City. We got the job done. I think the Etihad's a different proposition because we have to build a base to work off of, in my opinion. And we've all said, with all our predictions, none of us thought we were going to lose. And I think a prediction's all good and well. It's hope, it's belief built off of what you've seen previously, but it wasn't anything built off of what we've seen at the Etihad before. So now we've got this performance. I think it's something to build off. I think as much as City were missing a couple key players, we was missing Martinelli. I'm not going to say it for that reason. I'm going to say that I don't think Man City having Stones or Walker would have made a difference to that game as much as people might think. I think that as much as, all right, they might have created a bit more chances with Stone stepping into midfield, I also think we would have had a bit more chance on the flip side with a Stones playing or a Walker playing with the spacing behind. I think Akanji at right back, you know, majority of last season he was their right back in a treble winning season. Gavardio, listen, he's not a left back, but he is an 80 million pound defender that not so long ago people were putting up there with Saliba as the next best young defenders in the world. So as much as there's a couple man missing, I still think that, you know, it's still Etihad, it's still Pep Guardiola. And I've got a lot of admiration for Arteta because people will banter, and they have bantered, you know, this whole mini Pep, this whole, you know, Pep 2.0 or whatever it is that Arteta's trying to do is cute, but he needs to find his own lane. Now, listen, you can look at it like that. You can look at it as being cute, mentor, student, all of that. But deep that Arteta's standing toe to toe with Pep at this moment in time, with tactics that he's learned off Pep. I think that's a lot more difficult to do, to stand up to someone.
You're right.
With their own way of playing football, and this someone is Pep Guardiola. To stand up to a Pep Guardiola with your way of playing and getting a job done or getting 4 out of 6 points in a season, I think it's more commendable than with another approach. And you know how Liverpool kind of get the best of City, styles make fights. I think what Arteta's done as well is special in its own way.
Can I just come before James? Sorry, James, just before you come in, just briefly to that. You're right. And my big thing at the start of the season was about learning lessons, right? I wanted to see if Arteta could learn lessons from last season. Tactically, this season, I think he's come on leaps and bounds. And you're completely correct to flag that he's gone to the best manager in the world. And he's actually, I mean, City. Was anybody really genuinely scared that City would score and would, if they did, that we couldn't respond? And that's because we've got a manager now that set us up in a way that we can go to the best team in Europe and comfortably curtail them. So you're right to say that actually it shows huge progress from our manager. Every single year he's getting better and better. So maybe I'm being a little bit harsh, but I just feel had he gone for it, I don't know. We'll never know now, but I think we would have won that game.
Just before James comes in, it's a good point. I never was watching that game thinking that they was going to score. That maybe that's why I'm a little bit disappointed, Jordan, because I felt that we was never going to concede a goal. I felt that they were pushing the ball across the park. I never thought, oh, they're going to score in a minute. Do you know when we was playing Leeds last year? I think, they're going to score in a minute. They're going to score in a minute. You know, like I never had that feeling that game yesterday. For the first time I've gone to the Etihad for a very, very long while, I was sitting there going, don't worry about it, they're not going to score. We set up well defensively. We was very, very good. I could see that the organisation of the way we set up was fantastic. And I didn't think that they was going to score. So from that point of view, that's why I think I'm a little bit disappointed we didn't get the goal and win the game, because I felt that we set up so well that they was never going to score. And I'll tell you one other thing. Arsenal got a little bit of criticism for the way we set up and not scoring all that night. No one's really saying that, you know, well, hold on, you know, this is the great Manchester City team. Why haven't you broken this team down? So I do think there should be some disappointment that we didn't win the game, but I also think there should be a lot of credit that we didn't lose the game.
How can someone criticize that? What, just because we, you know, at times it was a low block. Fine, at times it was a low block, but didn't Jose build his career off defensive units? And he got
you know what it is. And sorry, James, I had your say yet, but you know what it is. Everybody's pissed the game was boring. The game was awful. It was a crap game, but it's not my job or Arteta's job or Arsenal's job to make it a spectacle for the world. That's not our concern. It was a drab game. If it's a neutral, it was awful. But it's not our job to make it an exciting game. It's our job to get at least a point. And we got what we wanted. We move on. So all the criticism is born out of it being built up and it being a drab game. That's not our problem. Sorry, James.
James, you've been patiently sitting there listening 15 minutes in. What you got to say? Where you going to start with?
Predictions now, isn't it?
I'm easily the most positive, probably any Arsenal fan I've seen. I'm really happy. I'm really happy with the performance, and I'm really happy with the point. I don't mean to be rude. I think people have missed the point a little bit. This whole City weren't great. I disagree. Jorginho completed 10 out of 15 passes. That's meant to be our playmaker. That's meant to be the guy who runs the game for us. We couldn't get to him. We could not get the ball to Jorginho. Like, no matter what we tried, every time Saliba and Gabriel had the ball, they'd string a few passes together, go back to right, and go long. Like, it was very difficult to play through Man City. We had openings. We could have done better. My only criticism from the game is I think players could have shown a little bit more conviction and bravery when those openings came, but there were few. There were few guys. And Odegaard addressed this in his Sky interview after brilliantly. He said, we're disappointed. And by the way, I love the mentality of Saliba and Odegaard, far better mentality than my own, saying we're not satisfied with the point. Good. I'm not a player. That's your job, not mine. But they're right to feel that way and also speak that way in public. But Odegaard said it's very difficult when you're defending, you're moving, you're holding your shape, and then suddenly your legs are heavy, you get the ball and you got to go from defense to attack. I get that. Like, it is not something you suddenly, attacking is about being light on your feet and playing the 1-2s and free flowing and being creative. But you've got to go from tracking your runners and, watching every little movement City do and suddenly, being able to hurt them. It is difficult. I don't think we've ever been a great counter-attacking team either. Jesus and Saka came in for criticism. I agree. Going forward, they didn't do a lot. Odegaard going forward didn't do a lot. But oh my word, the defensive work was unbelievable.
Mm-hmm.
Is there a team that works harder than us in the league? I came away with so much. I've been trolled online. And
you know that though. I'd come to you for that. What's the what's the work rate XG or whatever the metric is for that?
I don't know. I need to find if there is a stat like that. But I've been trolled a little online for celebrating the draw. Apparently, having a little sigh of relief to myself is celebrating. But I mean, I was happy. I for me was, you know what the internet's like. For me, I was really proud of the team. I was relieved as well. I actually think City did have us pinned in for a lot of that game. And the only reason they didn't create better chances in the two they probably should have scored from was because we defended magnificently. And it took every bit of physical, mental concentration. The players were at it the whole 90, everyone. Gary Neville flagged the front four saying, didn't have a great game going forward, but the work rate was phenomenal. Kai Havertz, almost nothing really came off for him going forward, but the work rate was, he was trying to get on the end of things. He was trying to work back into, Odegaard into a 2 with him in front of Jorginho Rice. Rice was everywhere. Saliba and Gabriel were monumental. And yeah, maybe on another day we could have hurt them a little bit more. And everyone, you're right, Jordan, to mention, everyone saying, oh, we were bored, we weren't entertained. I do not give a... Why would I? We've done our job. We've beaten our title rivals at the Emirates and we've got points away. Why is it our job to do any more than that? City and Liverpool can get wins against their title rivals. Now, maybe at the end of the season, it won't matter. And then we'll have a conversation about Fulham at home, Fulham away, West Ham at home. And cool, we can have that. But these are not the games that I'm going to be critical of Arsenal about, because we go from combined 11s where Arsenal are lucky to get 2 players in the team to, oh, you should have won the game. What? Because Stones was out, so poor City had to bring in their fucking £80 million. I swore, there we go. I was trying so hard not to. Their £80 million centre-back they signed in the summer. We realised they won the treble and spent more than us this summer, and still have Kevin De Bruyne back and Erling Haaland, probably one of the greatest strikers the Premier League's ever seen and one of the greatest managers the world's ever seen. And we stifled them to 1 shot on target. 390 minutes we faced Man City. I don't think they've tactically outdone us in a single one of those matches.
Yeah.
And I'm not meant to be proud of that. I'm really proud of how far this team have come. I'm really, really happy with that performance. Could we have done more? Sure. But I think people don't realise that to give more the other way, you're going to let something go the other way. And everyone goes, Liverpool were brilliant. Look how they battered City. They did. Liverpool were utterly tremendous against City at Anfield, as were Villa when they beat City 1-0. So you can dominate City and you can outplay them. But remember that Anfield game? City hit the post and the crossbar in the second half. City nearly nicked it. Should have nicked it. Because Liverpool's so open going the other way. There's no one way to do it. There's no right way to do it. All I know is Arsenal scored the most goals in the league this season. And Arsenal have been in tremendous form. And it's 8 wins and a draw from our last 9. It is not our job to entertain. We are perfectly entertaining enough. and we've got the goals in us to win a title. We're on course for a second successive, record-breaking, goal season in a league, beating the Invincibles like we did last season on that front. It wasn't our job to go and attack City. As Rory Talks Football put it perfectly, we need Liverpool to drop points one more time, and we can retake first. Yep. City now need Arsenal and Liverpool twice. That's 3 games they need to go their way to reclaim first place. The onus was on them to win this game. And yes, it was a missed opportunity. In terms of the openings we had, I agree. Trossard should square it. Ødegaard should roll it into Havertz in the first half. Jesus can do better with a few shots. I totally agree. But we can't be claiming treble winners and champions and they've won 3 in a row and Pep Guardiola's all this and it's unbelievable. And then come away when we've really genuinely fought valiantly, feeling massively disappointed. We can feel like, on another day this could have happened. But I can't feel mad at the team. I'm genuinely proud of their efforts.
Do you know what, James? Summed it up fantastically well. I think you're right. Watching their press yesterday was fantastic. Their press is fantastic, and it was. And at the end of it, you are right. I think that there was a little bit, I think if you're Man City, you've got to be disappointed because they've ended the game at home still in third. And that's something to say. And I think that, Liverpool have dominated them. And as you said, where did they dominate them? At Anfield. Where did Villa dominate them? At Villa Park. They haven't done it at the Etihad. No one does it at the Etihad, It's a smash and grab when you win at the Etihad. A little bit like when it is with us, We've lost 1 game this season against West Ham when we peppered their goal. It was down to us. They didn't do that. They couldn't get through us. Yes, they did nullify our attacking threats, and you're right what you did. And we've all said before we come on air, probably disappointed with our front 4. But there's reasons for that. They did stop us going through it. They're probably the best team at pressing. What I see yesterday, they really do press very, very well. So much so that Saliba 4 times kicked the ball out. If I'll be really honest, and he got man of the match. But there were times he was pressed into areas where he couldn't get out, other than just to kick the ball out. But I tell you what he did. He did kick the ball out and said, "Okay, I'll get back in the shape and we defend again." The emphasis was on them to win that game. Mm. We're still 1 point in front of Man City. We could have been 2 points behind them today, but we're not. So I know we're a little bit disappointed that we didn't do everything there. But at the end of the day, I think James says it really, really well there. There was some. He's right what he's saying.
He's annoying.
Not bad players missing, but Akanji is a very, very good player.
I love Akanji, that young up-and-coming defender. Yeah, he's really good. James is really annoying because he's done it again. He's brought reason to the podcast, and he's made me change my mind. I am being harsh. You're right. He's right. I am being harsh.
No, do you know what it is? Can I just say it's a balance? It's a balance. If we're all right here, no one's wrong so far, in my opinion. I think the angle James is coming from, it's a lot of the opposition fans right now want to try drag us down, trying to say celebrating a draw, all of this. But the fact of the matter is, the opposition fans know we're back. Full stop, bottom line, draw it there. We are back. Now they will laugh and say, "What have you won?" All right, that's an easy way to look at it. But we're gonna win something. Whether it comes in 8, 9, 10 weeks or whether it comes in 18 months, this team is primed to win something. And we've shown it now year in, year out, the last 2 against the best sides in the league. So as much as they want to, they're getting their last licks in. They're getting their last few licks in before they know Arsenal get over the line in something and they can't talk shit anymore. Because Man City fans respect us. Lee, you spoke to a few before. A lot of them were fearful of Arsenal coming. A lot of them had doubts. Liverpool fans, a lot of them respect Arsenal. I ain't looking for fucking respect from Chelsea, United, and Tottenham fans. Go fuck yourself down there. Like, I don't give a shit what you lot say. When we're talking as a collective with City and Liverpool fans, let's just say we had City and Liverpool fans in this pod right now, we could delve into how disappointed we are that Arsenal didn't come out of it because it's fine margins between 3 great sides. But you bring Chelsea, Tottenham, and please don't bring that over here. You got nothing to do with this stuff.
I think the biggest takeaway we should be proud of is we kept a clean sheet at the Etihad. We kept a clean sheet.
1 goal in 3 games, Jordan.
It's
One
mad.
goal in 3 games.
It's mad. And I think it was Lee or James just said it as well. It wasn't a clean sheet where Reyes had a madness and like save after save and we've been peppered and we were comfortables, maybe a stretch, but
Raya was trying to give himself more work.
He was. He actually was. He actually was. He actually was. You're bang on, Turkish.
Wasn't he? Distribution
was helping them out. The distribution was shocking. I will get to that in a second. But a clean sheet, and you know I love my clean sheets. That at the Etihad, and to keep Erling quiet. That is an achievement. And you know why? The Holy Trinity. Rice, Saliba, Gabriel. That triangle is the reason why we are going to win this league. I'm saying it. That triangle. And going back to James's point about work ethic, I said on the last pod, we win this game through work ethic. You're right. The word that comes to mind with Saka and Jesus and Havertz, suffer. They had to suffer. And some games, you can't have your flair players balling out. Sometimes you've just got to suffer. And as much as I'm disappointed, there wasn't really a moment from Saka. Because even amongst 90 minutes of suffering, you still want your attacking flair players to do something. Give me one moment. I don't think we had a moment where Saka was like, you know what? I'm going to try a ting. Havertz, go long. I'm going to win it, flick it off. We didn't have a moment, I don't think. But that's okay, because sometimes when you go to places like the Etihad, you just got to suffer. So, James has convinced me that actually sometimes you just got to do that. And the evolution of Arteta, the evolution of this team, I'm with Turkish, we will win something eventually, I think was epitomized in yesterday's performance. Two things. As I mentioned, Reyes kicking in the first half was absolutely awful. It was awful. He kept going to Saka for some reason. I'm like, why are you going long to Saka? His kicking was just like, I was getting so angry. And the second thing was, I just didn't understand why, if the tactic was to try and be solid and have a relatively low block, I don't understand why you'd pick Jorginho over Partey. Because if you know you're setting up a team that's going to do a lot of running off the ball and tracking, you might as well have started Partey. I thought the tactic was going to be to try and punch them on the nose, whereby Jorginho on the ball can give us something, but that wasn't the tactic. So I was a little bit confused to why in a low block where you need runners and you need legs, albeit he's been out injured for a while, I didn't understand why you wouldn't pick Partey over Jorginho. But
well, Jordan, on that, I think because I tried to read some Arteta quotes, and he talked that, you know, when you're playing against City, you're going to have to suffer, you're going to have to chase 30 passes and have clarity in what you've got to do defensively, blah blah. I think he himself, he might have said in another press conference or an interview, I can't remember where I saw the quotes, I think he himself thought we'd have more of the ball at times. I think he himself thought we'll have a spell where we're on it, which is why this whole Man City were awful, Man City were boring, kind of annoys me a little bit. I think, and I'm not going to do the whole tactico thing of it was a tactical masterclass. It was a crap game. It was a really dull game. But I do think an element of it was Arsenal stifling City, but also City stifling Arsenal in terms of actually getting any foothold in the game at any point. And I think, and I said on the watch along next to Turkish, I said, this might be a bit out there because still 30 minutes to play. But I think Partey might be needed in this. I don't know how ready he is, but I don't know. Lo and behold, Arteta went for that. And I was a bit surprised. I was like, oh, okay. I thought Partey might get the last 10 to see it out. But it actually came on with a significant part of the game to play. The part of the game that City were going to try and ramp it up. They bring on Grealish, Doku, and our response was Partey, Tomiyasu, which I thought was another credit to Arteta. I've seen a lot of criticism for Tomiyasu's performance. I thought he did fine. I didn't really see an issue. People, he's come back in for the first time. I thought he did good. I thought that was clever from Arteta. All his subs were clever. Saka was exhausted. He brings on Martinelli, Trossard for Jesus made sense as well. I think Arteta let us in there that he's planning on getting Partey into this team. I don't think he's just going to rest on what Jorginho has been doing. I think he knows there's a lot of football and Partey's going to have a big part to play. And may I say, unlike Sheffield United, good cameo this for me. I thought he was getting on the ball. And what I was saying about our six, Jorginho not getting into the game. In fact, should we get Partey's pass numbers? Have I got them here? Thomas Partey completed 14 out of 17 passes. So in that small cameo, more than 12 out of 14. So there you go, more than Jorginho in what, an hour of football. We laughing at stats. You don't like them.
No, I'm laughing at Lee.
Yeah,
we nearly lost Lee.
Well, the guy sat on the fucking bog and he's complaining about fucking stats. Incredible.
Julian's kicked him to the bathroom.
Well, is Julian there with you? Is he in the same hotel room?
No.
I was going to say he got bigger problems otherwise. But
Listen, I'm not on the toilet. I've got a wheelie chair there.
A wheelie toilet. You see the old Diamond Club, Lee.
I'm really happy. I'm really happy. I am. I'm really happy.
He's living good. Partey's cameo was good, guys. That little moment where he got the ball off the centre backs, thread it through the lines to Erdegaard. Now, this is not a pop of Declan Rice. I thought again was tremendous. You're right to mention that trio, but for whatever reason, I don't know if it's a positioning thing. I don't know if it's a tactical understanding thing. I don't know what it is, but I don't think Rice plays that ball through the lines to Erdegaard. And I don't think Erdegaard knows that Rice is going to play that ball the way Thomas Partey has. We saw that a lot last season, really cutting football. So I think that could be a big weapon between now and the end of the season.
He plays against Luton, by the way.
Partey.
Yeah.
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah. I thought he was brilliant. His cameo was brilliant when he came on. I think we got better when he came on.
And also look at our bench. Our bench was stacked. I mean, our bench, yeah, man. I'm looking to next season now. I mean, if you take out Nketiah, put Kai on the bench, bring in a striker to start, we've got a strong squad. Timber to come back in. Yeah, man.
I think we need one starter in the front three, and I think we need one more on the bench, because as much as we have touched in on the disappointing part of it, I do think we've given the praise for the positives in the attacking sense defensively, but there was moments in that game that Odegaard had one in the first half, Jesus had a couple, Saka didn't have any, which is a problem in itself. Havertz. In the second half, some good pressing. There was like a 10-12 minute period where we won the ball back like 4 or 5 times and we didn't even get a shot off. And those are the moments that we need to improve on, because everything else was perfect. Everything else, we nullified them. City didn't have nothing. None of us really feared conceding a goal. It's just that none of us really saw us scoring either, because the moments we did have for the first 80 leading up to that Trossard one where he should have done better. I think all the many chances we had culminated in that Trossard one where we all saw it. Trossard's holding his run. Odegaard, the pass is perfect. Trossard runs onto it. You can see someone running into the box. I just thought, one take bang across the box, 1-0 Arsenal, snatch and grab, we've done it. And then it just didn't materialize. So I do think that's something that they must improve on. It's a shame it's Trossard, because he's one of the more experienced. If it's Martinelli or Saka there, you could probably say, all right, a bit of inexperience there. They'll learn. With Trossard, you expect him to know that. He's one of the more experienced. And this is no gripe against him. I like Trossard, but I also think that, the attack need to be better in those, because it's not like we're going to play, because now we've got to a place where we've got 4 out of 6 points against City. It's not God-given right we go there next season and get 4 out of 6 again over the 2 games. We're going to need to play as well, if not better, than we did now, because Pep's not a manager to sit back and like this. You think Pep likes that his student has taken 4 out of 6 off him, regardless if they go on and win the league now. Guardiola's a perfectionist. He will not like that Arteta has got 4 out of 6 against him. So we need to work out how to be better next season, and I think the better comes in attack.
Well, yeah, go on, John. Sorry.
I was going to just ask you guys where you think, if we look at the kind of where this leaves us and the title race, where do you think it leaves the title race? Because I've been very vocal about the fact that when we lost our last game against Fulham, I didn't want to kind of do the whole how many points leading up to the City game do we need to be in the race. I'm just proud we're back in the race. I think now we can have a bit more fun with the whole 9 games to go. Who's primed? Is this going to go to the last game? Where do we think the weekend results, factoring Liverpool's win as well, leaves the race?
Can I come in on that quite quickly? Because again, I think this was something else that was slightly missed in my celebration. And what, Liverpool fans might kill me for this, and that's fine, because Liverpool, the one thing about Jurgen Klopp and Liverpool is they continue to surprise everyone, and Jurgen Klopp's amazing with whatever he's got. And you just can't write them off. But I felt it was so important for me to stay ahead of City at the end of the weekend. That was the task for me. You can't control what Liverpool and Brighton do. And I feel Liverpool will drop points. Yeah, for now, in the short term, we've gone 2 behind them, I think. I think they drop points. For me, the task was stay ahead of City. That's why I was happy. Yeah, we conceded top spot. Whatever, that fight will come later down the road. I felt we needed to stay ahead of Man City at the end of this weekend, and we did that. That's why I was happy. Liverpool, for me, there's this myth that we have way harder fixtures than the other two. I think we do have the worst fixtures, but also we have 5 out of 9 at home, 4 away. The other 2 are 5 away games. Liverpool go to Fulham, West Ham, Man United, Villa, and Everton. I don't like the sound of any of those away games. Fulham have been really good against the big clubs this season. Man United are awful, but you never know what will show up.
Yeah, they don't.
Everton will want to have a say in this. Let's put that right. West Ham, you just don't really know. I feel like they might be distracted by Europe unless like Leverkusen knock them out. Villa will be fighting because them and Tottenham can't seem to pull away from one another. And actually, it's in our best interest for United to start getting some wins to keep Villa honest. There is that as well. So I don't see some lovely run to the end of the season for Liverpool at all. I don't. I watched their game against Brighton, and let's have it right. They could have scored 8, Liverpool. Brighton could have scored 3 or 4. So yeah, the takeaway from that is, will Liverpool deserve to win? So what you're saying? Well, I'm saying it's another game where Liverpool looked very open at the back. I get it. Kanate not available, Matip not available, Trent not available, Alisson. I get it. It's not my problem. For what they've got out there right now, they continue to concede chances, and they quite frankly did when they had these players in the team anyway. So I feel like they will drop more points. I also think Arsenal and City do too. I don't think anyone goes perfect between now and the end of the season. And I think that set of weekend results, everyone's doing percentages. I honestly feel it's left everyone equal. I honestly think it's 33% each, because I think Liverpool are top and have that bit of experience, but also there's a lot of players that haven't done it with Liverpool. We should remember that. Diaz, Nunez, McAllister, Szoboszlai, Endo, they haven't got over the right line with Liverpool, but they are top. Arsenal, I personally think, are on form the best team in the league, in my opinion. And Man City are Man City and have done it time and time again and have the best players.
I think also as well. I mean, I see a lot of people, of Arsenal fans, doing their whole run-in calculations, and you try to you tell yourself we'll win that game to kind of fit your agenda, and everyone's biased towards their club, right? But what I would say is, and maybe James, you might know the answer to this question. People are flagging the fact that we've got Spurs away, we've got United away, and we've got Everton away. No, Everton at home. We've got Brighton away, right? Am I right in saying that we're the best team away from home this season? Is that statistically correct?
Let's find out. But I think you're right.
Because if we are,
yeah, we are.
That negates the
15 games,
right? So then that negates the whole "gotta go to Spurs" or "gotta go to old toilet" or "gotta go to."
Then
you know
again,
what I mean?
Yeah, I mean it's tight because we've played 15, we got 30 points. City played 14, got 29. Liverpool played 14, got 28. So it's pretty much,
Yeah, they both played a game
away.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're all quite solid.
But the point being that people kind of flag the fact that we've got some tricky away games. But if you're good away from home, is that big an issue? No, I still think the Spurs game is going to be the issue of all the games left, and that was including City game. I always think I think that I've got a gut feeling the Spurs game will be the game that if we're going to have our hearts broken, it'll be in that game. But I still think we are better than Spurs. So, I mean, won there last year. So I'm not overly worried, but let's just beat Luton first, please.
I think City are still favourites. I know I just said it's kind of all to play for 33 each, but I'll make it 34 City and then 33 to the others. Like I do think City are still favourites because A, the run in, and B, I just think this will feel so normal to them.
Yeah.
I think they'll just feel. I know. Even they haven't been part of a 3-horse race, but I think they'll be pretty calm. They've traded blows with their title rivals and come out with draws before. They're not that. Liverpool and City over many games have played each other, come out with draws, shaken hands, and moved on to the next. Like I don't think they'll be that worried. Whereas I think Arsenal and Liverpool will have that sense of expectation and opportunity. and they are also fighting on 2 other fronts. So I as a City, but again, like I said, they're used to it. They just won the goddamn treble. I think City are still favourites for me.
So do I. Lee, I see you.
Yeah, no, I feel it's going to come down to the Champions League. What happens in that? If Arsenal and City play each other, if we both get through and play each other, we was talking about on the train on the way home, like we're going to bash each other again, like the same sort of game at the Etihad, another real game. Liverpool will be.
God bless the neutrals, eh?
Yeah. They'd be desperate for it. And you talk about the neutrals and all that. I think Sky quite enjoyed it when it was 4-1 last season. I think they enjoyed that. You know what I mean? Like, well, I didn't. I'll tell you what, I'm enjoying today a little bit more. Like, and what I see from yesterday, and I do think that we're in the title race. I do think we've got a very, very good chance because I know Jordan says about Tottenham, right? That Man City team's a far better team than Tottenham. The difference between when we go to Tottenham, we won't play like that. We'd be a little.
Camera agrees with
you. I'm keeping this iPad, I think we'd be a little bit more open against Tottenham, and that will be a bit. Could go a little bit more either way. I think it was very, very calculated performance yesterday. I think and listen. The Sky people and all that, if we'd have gone there yesterday and got humbled 3-0, people are going, our same old arse. They're not liking that. That was, we really put in a performance yesterday where it says, you know what? We can go and win this.
No one liked any of it. Ben White looked refreshed. He didn't look bothered about anything that had gone on the last 2 weeks. People didn't like it. The goal was unbelievable. Like Saliba and Gabriel, who were meant to falter to the pressure of the Etihad, bullied Haaland again. No one liked it. Like, this is the problem. Kivior had an iffy first 20 minutes. Let's have it right, but he grew into it. No one liked it. Jorginho was meant to be overrun in midfield. Didn't get on the ball as much, but he didn't look overrun.
No.
Kevin De Bruyne, the great Kevin De Bruyne, every time he tried to burst through our midfield, who was there? Declan Rice sweeping round. Turns out we did underpay at 105 million. No one liked any of that. Mikel Arteta looked at all of you and went, you want entertaining football? No, you're all right. This whole 4 centre-backs thing, yeah? I saw Arteta do it before, Pep. Like, let's have that right. He did it with Tomiyasu when he came in against Liverpool, I think against Mo Salah in a 3-2 win last season. Pep wasn't doing that at the time. He was still pursuing, Cancelo, and then he moved to, let's get Ake in the team and move, have Walker sit in, and then Stones will move into midfield. Like, people just want to, and I've said as well, this isn't me overgassing Arsenal, because I've said I still don't think we'll win the league. I still edge City, but I'm going to give us the credit where it's due. And I came away from that as well. So I'm going on this other tangent again, but I came away from that game, and it fueled my energy for the Bayern game. I'm not gonna lie, that draw came out and everyone was feeling, wow, they're there for the take and we can do something. But I just thought, are we really ready to go to the Allianz? Are we really? Yeah. And again, I came out the Etihad game thinking, I think we might be.
We've gone to the best team in Europe and stifled them. So we can go to Bayern Munich and stifle them. And I'll tell you what, Manchester City fans on the train yesterday, what were they saying? We'll see you back here in the next month.
I told you, bring on City, Lee. I wanted City in this round. I told you.
They believe that we will beat Bayern Munich. They believe it.
They're shook.
And that's that performance that we done yesterday. We went to there yesterday and we've come out with it. I don't care what people don't like us and all that. We've come out with the respect. You said it earlier on, Turkish. Manchester City respects us now. 3 or 4 years ago, they were coming here thinking how many they were going to score against us. Now they respect us. That's down to Mikel Arteta, and I will have to say this. Whatever happens with Mikel Arteta, what he's done with Ben White, I think is nothing short of sensational, because I don't care what anybody says now. It's the best right back in the country. I don't care what anybody says. He comes up against whoever he comes up against. They never get any change out of him. He's got that lovely little nasty streak, and he also goes forward. There's a little thing about Trent does this going forward. He gets forward and he contributes as well. I think he was fantastic yesterday, by the way, but doesn't get the credit of Saliba and Gabriel. But I thought he was brilliant. Listen, we're in this title race. There's no two ways about it. If we'd have lost yesterday 3 or 4-1, people would have been writing us off, right? Yep. And they're not writing us off now. It might have been a boring game, it might have been that. But the one thing we go into now, we go to Wednesday, and we're not written off, and it's just about getting back and building confidence again. We go into Wednesday game, we're right in it, we're in the thick of it, and you know what? Let's bloody enjoy it, because it's been too long a time, and I ain't worried about what goes. I'm just going to enjoy these team games, and I'm pretty sure these players are as well. And I tell you what, we might not win it, but we're damn going to come close to it, like, you know what I mean? And I tell you what, we're here to stay. To the end of the season, we're here to stay. And yesterday's performance told me that we are, because you're right. The likes of Jesus, who's fantastic going forward, was prepared to play left back for 70 minutes yesterday. Saka was prepared to play right back for 70 minutes yesterday. A lot of those big players are not prepared to do that. They're prepared, would Mo Salah do that? No, he wouldn't, and that's why we were so compact, so organised, and so we are a team. We might not have the better individuals, but I do think we're the better team.
Yeah, Arteta's created that, listen to me and all will go well, and everyone's listening and all is going well. Quick question before we move on to Luton, which might not have that much conversation, but now you've seen us against City, 3 times this season, more recently just yesterday. If you had a choice to play City home and away or Real Madrid home and away in the Champions League now, would you I'd say still want Real Madrid, or would you would, yeah?
Yeah,
Real Madrid, and the reason being, it's an English game. I don't want that. It'd be a little bit more
intrigue.
Yeah, and also I don't think it will be like fatigue and consuming for us as well. That the 2 Premier League teams
Psychologically, yeah.
Yeah.
Jordan's having a think.
I don't think we go through if we get City in the semis. Personally.
I think they got a little bit more over us. Yeah,
I think they beat us. If I'm honest.
Yeah,
I want City
over 2 legs. I think they will. I don't think they beat us in 1.
Yeah, this is bearing in mind we beat Bayern. Listen, Bayern are in poor form, but they are still Bayern Munich, so it's still going to be a tough game. But we should get it done. All right, Man City conversation pretty much done. I think we've covered all angles. We've touched on Champions League there. Potentially, we'll see them a couple more times. Let's see what happens against Bayern and with them against Madrid. Luton, Wednesday night, 7:30 kickoff. Someone already said they'd like to see Partey start that. I think it was Lee. I'm actually for that. Get him 60 minutes, 70 minutes under his belt. Is there anything else?
Swap them over. Like what they did today. Swap them over.
Is there anything else people would do on the weekend differently?
I'd go with the same front. I'd go with the same front three.
So would I.
I would say that you've done us defensively. If they're fit, I'd say right. This is more of an attacking game. It'd be a little bit harsh on Jesus to say you've done all that work for me. Now we're in an attacking mode. You've got to be left to go and prove it. And I think the thing with Saka, I do think with Saka yesterday, I don't think he was quite 100% fit, but he got that minutes in his legs, confidence, and whatever injury it was out of the way. So he did come off with a little knock, didn't he? Or was that tactical? I'm not. It looked like he got a knock.
Off, but I agree with you. It looked like he wasn't.
I think he was knackered.
I would bring Trossard in for Jesus. I still don't think Jesus can do 2 games a week for us. I said that before we played Forest. So we beat Palace 5-0. We had Forest in midweek before Liverpool on the weekend. I said I'd take Jesus out. I was made to look an idiot because Jesus scored the goal that put us 1-0 up. But my point stood. He couldn't get through it. He then wasn't available for the weeks after because of fluid on his knee. Like the guy, I think his football needs to be managed massively. Yes, I'm no medical expert and I don't know what I'm talking about. But we've got players like Trossard who are very good. Martinelli came on and played some football. So one of those two for me. Oh, he's done on the bog. Fair enough.
Getting some tissue.
Didn't even wash his hands. Disgusting. I'd make a change there.
He's actually gone for a shit. At least turn your camera off. Bloody hell.
That's one way to respond to my points. Oh, now my internet's gone. What's going on here? Are we in?
What happened there?
Is there,
Hang on a minute. Is everyone?
let's unmute. Right. So I've unmuted Lee. So Turkish is. Can anyone see Turkish?
Yeah,
He's
it's just
frozen.
frozen.
Right. So I froze too. So it looks like StreamYard had a moment. So
Yeah, I think they did.
So I froze. Turkish has gone. Lee's gone for the bog. Fair play to him.
No, I tell you what I've got. Because I had to keep my phone close to me today because we didn't know what was going on with the alarm and all that. I've had to go and get my comment of the day, so I had to charge my phone, so I had to go and get it. That was
good on you.
That's it, very professional I am, like, you know, because I've had to leave it by the not being able to charge in the night because I didn't know what was, we didn't really know if Turkish was going to ring, do what, he just done a Turkish shots, didn't he? Like,
It's my fault.
No, I'm just saying, like,
Now people,
the audio listeners,
they used to get onto me for being late. Now I'm sending the link early, and people are getting on to me again. I don't understand what's going on. I just don't understand it. We'll get into that anyway.
Just sorry, last thing as well in that Luton game. So those are the changes. Two of them, Partey, and then whoever you want a left wing. I didn't get clipped up for this one, but I was as happy when we drew at Anfield. Apparently, no one had an issue with that one, because I thought that was also a great point. And I think I've been proven right because City got battered there and only came out with a point. We followed that Anfield draw with 2 defeats. So all that good work, all that energy, all that effort, we ended up losing 2 games we should have won comfortably. Let's be real.
Yep.
We've got to build on this. We have to. We can't. It will be such a waste. And that doesn't mean that all the good work goes to nothing because you take it to the Champions League, but it would be such an unbelievable waste for the Premier League to have put in that effort and then come out, with a draw and a defeat or 2 defeats or whatever it is. We've got to win our next 2. And I know the answer is we've got to win our next 9. Well, maybe we don't have to win at Tottenham or Old Trafford if other points are dropped and still difficult. Whatever, we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. Like I said, I think everyone's dropping points. But I think these 2 are 2 must-wins. Doesn't mean I think every single other game is, but I think these 2 are. And I'll be really disappointed if we don't build on it because all the praise I've given, it'll be like, yeah, cool, well done. But we're actually in a better points position if we lost at the Etihad having a go and just beaten Luton. You've got to come away with wins in the next 2.
And this one won't be easy, boys. I'm telling you this now. That Luton's going to they're fighting for their lives. I think Tottenham are always going to win it, but they cause them problems.
Tottenham did have a lot of chances, I have to say. Yeah. Another one where I was like, how do they not win this by 4 or 5?
Yeah, but we've got to be ruthless. We've got to go out, be really ruthless, bang, 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 take no prisoners. And I agree with you. And I also think that, in a way, playing Brighton at the end of a week where there's 3 games in a week, it will suit us and a big squad, you know what I mean, where the little squads have got to pick and choose where they want to get their points from or whatever. So I do think that these next 2 games are massive. Let's be honest. I think we all know that Liverpool are going to win against Sheffield United. We know that. So it's important, that we win our next 2 games. And then, of course, goes then on to Liverpool. The pressure goes on to Liverpool on the Sunday when they go away to Man United. What we've got to do with our results at times now is we know what it's like to win titles. We've supported Arsenal before. Is put pressure on Liverpool next week at Anfield. You know what you just said there, James? I think it was you said we might not have to win at Tottenham. Well, we've got to make sure that they have to win at Manchester United. That's what we've got to do. I'm pretty sure Manchester City will be doing the same their end as well.
Can I suggest something that is, I appreciate, possibly very, very dangerous, but I'm going to suggest it anyway.
At United.
I think. Oh, is there a delay? I'll carry on until I'm told to shut up. I think Liverpool were trying to rack up the goals yesterday against Brighton because of the goal difference, and I think against Sheffield United they're going to try and pile in as many goals. Turkish is behind us by about 4
Turkish
days.
is so delayed. Yeah,
yeah.
Turkish disagreed with my point in the 10th minute.
Yeah. Well, I'll carry on
Knock
though.
him a point.
I think it might be a point off for sure. I think that Liverpool are going to try to pile in Sheffield United to try and claw back the goal difference, which means I think we should potentially try and do the same. Now, look, of course, it's always 3 points first. If you offer me a 1-0 win now, I'll take a 1-0 win. But there's not many opportunities between now and the end of the season whereby you can score, you can try and get your goal difference up even higher. So I think after we've secured the 3 points, I just wonder if Mikel Arteta will be conscious of we can get 4 or 5 here. And Luton aren't as bad as people make them out to be, but equally, if we turn it on, there's goals.
Am I back?
Yeah.
You are back. You are back.
If I'm correct, Jordan, you'll know this, James. Do Liverpool play on a Thursday?
Wait.
Someone play after us. One of the two teams plays after us. It might be Sheffield.
Let's give you the fixtures. So Tuesday night.
Oh yeah, you're right. Yeah, Liverpool Thursday. Yeah.
Bang it on, Jordan. Bang it on Wednesday night. You're right.
Yeah.
We actually kick off 45 minutes before City, which will have no impact on either team, but just kind of interesting. I don't think Villa are going to do anything at City, you know.
Yeah,
No.
I don't think they will. I think City will win it quite comfortably.
Yeah.
I think Villa will do something at Villa Park against Liverpool.
I just think it's going to be tight between now and the season, and goal difference could matter. It could matter. So whilst we've got that little cushion, if we can try and bump up some goals against Luton just to kind of reinforce that, it's an extra point. It's an extra point, and we might need that.
Maybe. All right, so let's move on to predictions. But before we do predictions, bring up the prediction table. This is how it's meant to look because James was the only one to predict the draw, so he was the only one to get a point. But this is how it does look because he also arrived late. Oh, you're it. Yeah, sorry about that.
I'm not going to fight too hard for the point, but I just want people to know what an awful bloke Turkish LDN is. Go unsubscribe.
This is a bloke that you really went to bed with, mate. You sort of went on his side, like Jordan. Remember that, you know?
Yeah, I do.
You know, you remember that. You remember that.
Yeah.
You know what, Lee? You're right. You are right. But I would still rather not be on your side.
That's fair enough.
So
I'll sleep easy on that, son. I'll sleep easy.
I've seen in those promos you sleep very easy in those. On.
He said you're a bigger see you next Tuesday, Lee. So that's what he said, basically.
Well, listen, I'll take that. You know, I'm not going to lose no sleep over that whatsoever.
Speaking of falling asleep, right? You lot won't know all this, but me and Turkish were in the studio a couple of weeks back, and they were on Invincible podcast, which I'd love to say go check it out. Great podcast. I'm not sure. At the end, they did comments of the week. Oh my god!
Not my
put you to sleep.
Lee said, not my call.
Lee was going. My comment. Big up the show. Really enjoyed Julian. And hope we win. Oh.
then Laurie came onto it like,
at least you got
we
to the
love
end
the
of it with
show.
yours. At least you got to the end of our Invincibles. I'm not going to sleep after 5 of yours.
Oh my word! It's only because I was in work. I get sacked if I'm found asleep. You know, at my desk.
I tell you what, Turkish gets the pay rise when he's downstairs. That's what he likes.
Unbelievable. Honestly, so yeah,
he puts everything they like, you know, like 1 minute tonight he's putting the link in, like that's what he likes. But you went on his side, you know what I mean? Me and Jordan.
So this is the story, everyone. This is the story. I had alarms set. 7:05, 7:10, 7:25. I thought this link's not dropping in. Suddenly, a message comes in. So I put a message last night, 8 a.m. Right? Nothing. Radio silence. Awful. Can you even let your colleague know? That's definitely 8 a.m. But you know what? I knew it was. So then still, lead judges, I have no clue. I'm out at the moment with some beers. So there you go. You thought I was celebrating it. I was at home in bed ready to talk about it. Anyway, Jordan then puts an eye emojis at 7:09. Lee, what's happening at 7:46? Jordan with more eyes. I replied at 7:50. Not sure, people. I was up. Fucking Turkish with 9 minutes to go. Drops in the link. Goes, there you go. I was back in bed.
Was you here, Jordan?
I was ready. I was ready. Yeah.
I was ready.
I feel
ready.
Do you know, we were talking about press baiting, Turkish. That's what you did. You were like, can I bait him just to? I was about to say something nuts.
Now I've got that method in place. I'm gonna be trying it for the last 9 game weeks. That's for sure. That is for sure.
I will be here ready. So when that link drops, it's like bam, in. I'm ready.
I think you've like virtually won it anyway. I think.
6
I
points.
would have had it. That extra
Yeah,
point,
I think that
would
point
have
would have killed it. 9 games left.
I know.
Yeah.
It can be done. It can. Someone's got to go on a roll now. And when you look at the current form, no one's going to go on a roll. You know, Jordan's got one in.
We've been waiting years for Jordan to go on a
5 in
roll.
9. You know what I mean? I ain't going to have anything like that.
That's the best bit about this all. We can all talk about docked points and I should have had this, I should have had that. But Jordan's the only one. Firstly, docked points doesn't count to your predicted scores. You'll only got one. And secondly, he's the only one who hasn't had any points docked.
I've been too nice. I need to start being like you lot. I need to start
The cleanest record of the lot.
Yeah, it's a disgrace.
Let's do predictions then. Well, actually, before we do predictions, no change in the table. James still top on 35 points. I'm in second on 29. Lee's in third on 27. Jordan fourth, 25. So James, kick us off with prediction, mate.
2-1 Arsenal.
2-1 Arsenal. I'm gonna go for 4. Let me think. I'm going to go for 4-0 Arsenal.
3-0.
3-0.
1-0. 0-0 after 75 minutes.
Oh, God.
This guy's painting the picture. Please, no. Please, no. Well, 1-0.
Sure, you're not on Channel 5. I tell you that.
Couldn't even get his channel right.
I couldn't know.
So, people, just a round of prediction. James and Jordan have gone for tight W's. 1-0 for Jordan, 2-1 for James. Lee's gone 3-0 Arsenal. I've gone 4-0. So, very different scores predicted. We'll find out come Thursday morning show. And we will be back on Thursday. But we've still got a few comments of the day to get through now. So, hit the like button. Let's get up to 1,000 just past the hour, people. And let's get into it. Who wants to step up first with their comment?
Can I just go first? Just want to say I was at the boxing last night at the O2, and the amount of people that were showing love for the podcast was just, it was so good, man. Yeah, people love the pods, people love the channel. So I want to just too many names to remember, and I couldn't be asked to ask their names, to be fair. But anyway, there was lots of people that were showing love. So big up all those last night. I've got a couple. I've got one here from Sick Bass. Abductor is not the stomach muscle. Never listen to Lee. Which in production, Cass rightly flagged afterwards. And there was one more. And there's one more.
Can we just address that?
Yeah, can we address that?
Abductor. Stomach muscle. Yeah, stomach muscle. Right? All right. Must be.
I thought it was abdominal, but apparently that's not in the right area either.
Do you know what? I'm going to say this now. I'm not saying how old I am, but I've always thought it was in the stomach. I learned something new on the Fourever Arsenal podcast. That's all I'm saying. I never knew it was in the hip. I never did, and the comments about it and all that, were incredible. But. Yeah, so I actually had that comment as well about it.
I found another one. If Mr. Judges thinks that the abductor is a stomach muscle, I'm unbelievably glad he doesn't hold a qualification that lets him practice medicine. That would scare the shit out of me.
That was my comment, but I hold my hands up. You know what I mean? I've been playing football for years, like, you know what I mean? Like, we had a women physio, right? And I kept going, I've got problems with my adductor, and she kept rubbing me groin. I think she fancies me. All of a sudden, I was in the wrong, you know what I mean? It was a joke, you know what I mean? So 15 years, I thought she fancied me, mate. She was doing the right thing, like, you know what I mean? Unbelievable.
Whole time he had this stomach issue that never got addressed because he kept calling it the wrong thing. I've got an abductor issue. All right, get on your side, Lee. What?
No, it's higher. It's higher.
My abductor hurts. All right, pull your trousers down. What? I've got an abductor problem, people.
Oh my God, it completely. I couldn't believe it.
Oh man.
Where's Turkish gone? Because if he don't come back with his comment, he's having a point, doctor, I tell you.
I'll jump in.
Calm down. My internet keeps on just going down and up. I don't know what's. My abductor's hurting. My abductor's been hurting now.
Oh dear, I don't get to leave that one there. The thing was, I was so convinced, you know, I can't get it.
And you mugged me off because I was like, yeah. You made me look bad.
Yeah, it just shows you can con people out of things, and it really not be positive, you know what I mean?
You say anything with enough conviction,
you
know, you just
yeah.
Couple Zaraf says, love Jordan's passionate speech in this episode. I hope he's a happy man 4 hours after the result when he gets to watch the game. Very good. There was one more I thought was good. By the way, well, this wasn't one of them, but just Alemic saying Jordan was spot on about Arsenal having to outwork City. Big facts. I think we definitely saw that in the game. But then I like this, which it's just a funny comment because I don't even remember this from the show, but you guys might. So this is from Starluck. He clocked that Turkish said, "What's make or break without the make?" Jordan, after a moment's contemplation, break.
Yeah. And no one picked up on that.
I didn't pick up on that, you know.
It must have been a delay you're in.
It's coming back to me now, actually. It's coming back to me a little bit.
Anyway. I've got one. I've got a couple. I think my first one was read with the whole abductor issue. This one's from Cage Art saying, big admiration for Jordan to go for his heart over his head for the first time. Must have been a tough decision considering we're 8 months into the season and he sits bottom of the league.
He still got it wrong now. Just
he said 3-2 as well.
Yeah,
but I will say I made 100 quid because I did put a bet on 0-0. I did put a bet on for 0-0 tenner, so I made some money. I put a bet on for 0-0 and a bet on for 4-1.
Oh, we're delighted for you.
Yes,
Who did you bet on 4-1? Us?
Yeah.
Wow. You're a different man on your betting app to what you
are
on Fourever Arsenal. That's for sure.
I know. I think what's the most unlikely scoreline that I can make money from? I thought 0-0. It will never be a 0-0. Put a tenner on. 4-1. We'll put a tenner on. One came true.
There you go.
Brilliant. Well, I'm so pleased for you. Like, it's made my day.
Yeah, save that to the end of the season. Cool. Our 9 minutes, 1,000 likes. Let's check it, people. Have we hit it? If we've hit it, let's get 2,000. If we haven't, let's get 1,000 people. Make sure you show some love all around as well. Everyone's doing their own thing as well as the shows here. James Gooniverse, James Bayliss. You search that up on YouTube, you'll find his channel doing big things. Well done to James. Lee Judge's TV been running a little while now. He's doing his thing over there. Show some love. Jordan, whisper it loudly, not for clicks. Channel 4, Black Academics. He's got his finger in a whole heap of pies, so make sure you go show him some love too. And obviously, I'm Turkish LDN. Just search me up. You'll find my YouTube channel there too. Hit the like button right here. Make sure you subscribe right here. Put the notification bell on right here. Luton coming up next at the Emirates. 9 games to go in the season. Games coming thick and fast with a Champions League quarter in there as well. Make sure you're here, people. Love for the love as always. And we'll be back on Thursday. Peace.